So it is going to be a little bit of a struggle doing consecutive rows. And we're already 16% in. So I'm kind of hoping the Deutz will get back to this end. Actually, no, we're good. So I can swing in on this first row and then take a wide turn onto the road that the Deutz is currently turning into, and I should be set up to do alternate rows most of the time. There he goes. But as time passes, I'm going to fall further behind because I've got to run back to the yard and dump the grass in the buffer, in the silo. Oh yeah, I did notice, what was it, American Truck and Euro Truck 2 now have their latest patch. I want to say 1.49, but I've got no idea. They've also introduced a new map, or a new state. I am so far behind on that. I think... I don't know if I've got Colorado, but I pretty went up the Pacific Northwest, haven't got Washington yet, don't have Montana, might have Oregon. The thing is with the truck simulators is I'm generally not playing them that frequently, so I don't feel it's a game I need to buy stuff for. Because I kind of need to be able to justify having, buying a game that I'm going to play. So while I like the look of something like City Skylines 2, I'm probably not going to play it that much. So spending $50 for a new game is kind of silly, I guess. Nearly full. However, buy a new PC and go for, get something that can run City Skylines 2. Means when the price comes down to like 50% off or something like that, I can pick it up just to have. And we are full. We are full. And I don't think we're really struggling here. It is a heavy load, so it takes a little bit to get rolling. But we're running down farm tracks, so it's not like I want to be doing 40 miles an hour here. And if I drive in a straight line, we are building up speed. Okay, we're back. I'm going to be using the Merlot sometime just to shovel all the stuff into the bunker. Pull back a little. Not that button. Let's try that one. Yeah, that's the one. So the first couple of drops will drop from that end through the bunker as far as we end up going. But then as the height of it builds up at that end, we're going to have to reverse in from the workshop end. Anyway, that's given the windrower a chance to break out ahead of us. I wonder if it might be worthwhile. It's difficult. I was thinking maybe I could take the mower back to that other field and just cut the edges, and then we'll mess about with the windrower manually to pull the grass in away from the corners, so I can actually do some work on, I can actually grab all of the grass in the field, if that's at all possible. Anyway, rower's now 4 rows ahead of us, so I should now be good to be doing alternate rows up the field, alternate rows down the field, and I won't have to worry too much about doing 2 and then coming back on a tight turn. So 8.65, we were up to 10, so it's about 1.35 on the silage additive per full truckload. Of course, doing these corners does mean that, or doing the edges, there's going to be less in rows along the edge. This is a lot easier to pick up, and I don't know whether that's anything to do with the fact that this particular windrower happens to be far more precise in making a row than trying to do a half and half row with our old rower. That might have something to do with it. But be interesting to see how it works for our silage baler, the round baler, especially since we'll be able to run a follow me, so either I can do the rowing or I can have the rowing happening with the baler following. So now I'm probably okay to follow the windrower. The windrower is rowing at 8-9 miles an hour. We're collecting at about 10, 11. So if I come down this row, he'll be turning by the time I get to the other end. Then we'll go and get, well, we might get some of the other 4 rows. Of course, the question is what baler am I, or what tractor am I going to use on the baler? Because up until now it's been row and bale with different tractors, but it's kind of looking like I'm preferring the Renault to row, unless we get a significantly smaller, cheaper tractor. And I don't think that windrower has much in the way of power requirements. 50,000, there we go. Might check on that. How much is the power requirements of our windrower? 80. Oh, I could buy the little case farm all pack. I've frequently said I would like to have a case running on the farm, just because I usually don't. But that particular pack costs money. But we're coming up to Giants. We'll probably be releasing a Season 3 Game Pass round about Christmas, New Year. So I'll probably end up buying that, although I'm usually less than thrilled with the final year expansions, especially the last one, which kind of comes out 2 months before the new game comes out. But we'll see. I could treat myself to a state or two from ATS, since, well, I don't have all of them, and it's usually at a discount. So even if I don't pay much for the game, if I can pick up a state for half price or a third price, that usually works out quite good. It's just I've got so much stuff I want to buy and spend money on this coming year. There is I've said before, there's a rake of passenger cars, 6 passenger cars, that should be coming out in February. So that's a big expense. I want to upgrade the computer before Farm Sim 25 comes out. That's a big expense. That's a huge expense. I need to buy some lumber to actually finish off the benches in the basement and then start work on the track bed. Then I can lay track, and that doesn't really cost me any money once I've got the adhesives and everything else. But then once the track's laid, I need some train controller things, and that's not cheap either. So, going to be an expensive year for hobbies next year. I mean, I've got a controller that I can make do with, but this is not going to be a small layout, and I think it can only run 2 or 3 locomotives before, you know, power drain gets too much for it. So, in all likelihood, I'll be looking at. I don't know why I didn't do the other one, because these are 2 rows apart now. Yeah, so I'll need something that kicks out more ampage into the track to be able to run more locomotives. And I may need to look at what they call districting, which is feed different section of track from different controllers, so that you can have stuff going on in a yard and stuff going on the main, and not overload the power supply. But that's for sometime next year. But I really do want to get that started. Part of the problem is Mrs. Osa won't let me go in the basement because my back and my hip, and we kind of don't want me slipping and falling down the stairs and completely damaging my back, as opposed to where it is now, There's a vertebra broken, but I can still walk. We are, I think, running the risk of, if I do fall, I could injure my spine, and that would be considered a very bad thing. How am I doing with this collection? I'm not doing too bad. So I might make it to the end. When we come back, I will actually be able to run the headlands now. 50. So this is not too bad of a job, and this thing does do a very good job of picking up everything. It's big. It's bigger than the old one. I can't. Oh, we had the red one, didn't we? I went for something I thought the Valtra could haul, and then we ended up with the Class 940. I think this is an 870, and it's, you know, it's got weight behind it, but it's not too heavy for the tractor. It just takes a little bit of work to get back up to speed when you slow down for the corners. Anyway. That looks like 3 rows. A little bit too fast through. I should be able to, I might be able to do filler rows on those two. I'm not sure about the edges though. Still. It's 30,000 from the first field. This is the first time we've worked this field. So all of the information is brand new. We may be pushing up the environmental score on it, which would be a good thing. And this is going to be one of our arable fields. I mean, it's designed as an arable field. I might as well use it as such. Lower that. Oh, I could have refilled my silage additive. Okay, I think I'm probably good here. Gonna have to wait till the Renault comes past us. How's the mower? The mower has... There we go. 3 minutes left on the mower. Okay. That's fine. So I'm not really able to follow the sharpness of those corners there. That's the windrowing done. So the question is going to be how far? Well, how much of the grass can I get out of the corners? But I think because they're our fields, it's worth trying to recover as much of the grass as I can. Because it's all money. And if we want to expand the farm, that's something I've got to think about. I think what I should be able to do this coming year, because yeah, we're now at fall. I should be able to sell all the silage and potentially get us into a big M for mowing. We'll get rid of the Valtra T, we'll get rid of the mower. I've played around with those enough. We've never really used the big M. I have used the big M on some things, especially on contracts, but for the most part, it's not a vehicle I've had on the farm for my use. It's usually a loan for a contract. Okay, can I get to 50? Do I even hit the row? I did hit the row. Wow. There we go. Done. So Valtra is 6 seconds from being done, I think. Oh, you know what? He's probably doing a headland. Or a row down here somewhere. That's it. Okay, start the engine. Now I will turn off the course plate, and you know what? While we're in this field, I will try and figure out how to work this thing. No, that way. The other way. Go the other way. Well, we'll just cut some edge grass. That's fine, I guess. Okay, so yeah, like I said, we'll cut the edges, or we'll cut out the corners. May have to do the bit in the middle. There's usually a little tuft on the inside corner. Is there anything here that I missed? Doesn't look like I missed anything there. So what we can now do is roll this lid up. Nice. Close enough. It's not that I can go significantly faster in reverse because we're using the reverse gears and the tractor is limited to 11 miles an hour. Again, I'll check on the inside. Doesn't look like there's anything missed there. It's really just the two far corners. And I'll do that one over there first, so that we do the exit last. We can then leave. We'll go back to the previous field. I'll get all that tidied up. And then, excuse me, I take a bit of a drift over here. Okay. No, didn't miss anything there. From distance, it kind of looked like some of the field had been missed. Anyway, we can cut this all the way to the corner. Boop. And see if I can get that bit fairly straight without actually driving straight. Yay. And we'll get this bit here. There is a tuft to our left in the middle there, so that needs to be tended to, or attended to. And by getting that, it does mean that the windrower will pick it up, as opposed to hoping that the windrower will pick it up. Okay, back to here. We'll do exactly the same in this field. And then I'll probably go front drive down to the third field that we've got to cut. We've got two more big fields. And then we'll be looking at the small field behind the hedge, which I might have to do a little bit manually. So this tuft here, whoops, oh, son of a gun. Thank you. I'm not going to try windrowing that because it's as wide as it needs to be for the collecting wagon. Reasonably good turn, I guess. But it looks like because the windrower actually has steerable wheels, or steering wheels, that